Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking about concepts in health and fitness. What's your path to health and fitness? So first and foremost, we have to identify that wellness is the new health goal, where health refers to the overall condition of a person's body or mind and to the presence or absence of illness or injury, as opposed to wellness refers to optimal health and vitality. The concept of wellness is much bigger than health and includes physical, emotional, and intellectual, also known as cognitive health. So what is the difference, health versus wellness? Health differs based on factors beyond your control, such as your genes. When sperm meets egg, there you get 50% from your father, 50% from your mother. You cannot control that. That is just through evolution. That's life. You get those genes, so you can't control that. Your age, unless you're Tom Brady, who can defy the odds of father time, you cannot control your age. And also family history. So if you have family history of cardiovascular disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, you can't control that. That is what your grandparents, great-grandparents, parents, that's what they passed on to you through your genes. And then wellness, on the other hand, is determined by the decisions we make about the way we live and the actions we take. So let's talk about the 9 dimensions of wellness. Experts have determined 9 dimensions of wellness: physical wellness, emotional wellness, intellectual wellness, spiritual wellness. That tends to be confused with religious wellness. So this is spiritual. This is internally, how you connect with whatever it is you believe in. Interpersonal, social wellness, and environmental wellness as well, as like where you live, how you live. Occupational, that refers to what you do on a daily basis for either work or life. Financial, so how much, or in this case, money or sets of wealth that you may have that is financial. And cultural, which is very, a lot of times, in my opinion, gets left out. And that is what we bring to the table from our various backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. So go ahead and take a look at this video. It explains a little more about the 8 dimensions of wellness. And there is a video that I put in here that it explains, and we recognize and respect the richness of diverse cultures. So that's your cultural wellness. And one thing that I want to mention is that I put various videos. They're short videos. They're not long. I'm going to try to make these slides and presentations so short so you can not concentrate on your assignments and your reading, but this should tie it all back in, and vice versa. I try to put multiple ways of looking at it, or voices, visuals, so that we all can understand it. Some of us, we all learn differently, so some of us might like this video versus the next video. So just be mindful of that, all right? And then cultural, an example that I can give you, I come from Mexico. I was born and raised over there, and then I came and I settled in CARP, like I mentioned in my introductory video. And so I want people to recognize that I bring some cultural wealth from Mexico. People that live here that may have never been to Mexico, I want them to recognize and respect that richness that I bring. And because I also, and they should also strive for me to recognize and respect that richness of diverse cultures, where we work, what we do, and where we live. I think there's all that, all those things that really pit us one against the other. Like, well, I live in Montecito versus, oh, well, I live on the east side. I live in Cart versus I live in Oxnard. I live in Santa Maria versus I live in Buellton. So all these things that can also impact us. And or I am a Muslim, I am a Catholic, well, I'm a Christian, I am a Protestant, all these things. But I think that when we all accept and recognize and respect that, then there is that diversity in our culture. All aspects of wellness are interrelated and have an effect on others. So you, right here in this in the circle in the middle here, are all these dimensions of wellness are around you. So if something is affecting you, right, it's going to affect something else. And if you have very low self-esteem, or you may not have a high level of wellness, or a medium level of wellness, if you have low level, then you cannot thrive. And the opposite is true, where vitality, the energy, the liveliness of you having high levels of wellness, then you're on the opposite side. Like an example I can give you is if for example, you're financially you're struggling, then you're going to be not going to be want to thrive. You're not thriving because you're focused on that. Your emotional dimension takes a toll. Maybe you're intellectual. Why? Because now you're focused on the financial. Like, oh man, my rent is due in 2 days, and I have to turn in an assignment, in 2 days as well. But I don't get paid until next week. Those are the things. And then eventually you're like, okay, let me go get a second job or a part-time job, and so your physical might take a toll. And then the opposite goes true. Whenever all these dimensions are working together, then there's really, you have that high level of wellness. I can give you another example. Personally, I just lost my sister, a month ago, yesterday, and so my emotional well-being is a little bit low because it was a huge toll on me and my family. So I'm right about here, and I need to tap into my spiritual and my social interpersonal life, because that assists me in overcoming this emotional toll that I've just gone through. And so those are the things. And you have to remember that all these areas of wellness can increase or decrease. How we handle change in our life is the most important part. So now we move on to 3 behaviors that cause 4 chronic diseases, which cause 50% of all deaths. So poor quality diets, lack of physical activity, and tobacco use. Then we go into those ones cause 4 chronic diseases, which are cardiovascular disease and stroke, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and lung disease, and cause 50% of all deaths in the United States. The leading causes of death in the United States are heart disease, cancer, and stroke. Treating chronic diseases are costly, but people have some control whether they develop these diseases or not. Healthy People Initiative, the National Healthy People Initiative, aims to prevent disease and improve Americans' quality of life. The latest report, Healthy People 2020, proposed broad goals: increase quality and years of healthy life, eliminate health disparities among Americans, create programs that positively impact the determinants of health, such as individual behaviors, social interactions, physical environment, and access to healthcare for all. Here's a quick video exposing the importance of health initiatives that impact determinants of health, such as if we wouldn't have had these in place, COVID-19 probably would have taken a greater toll on all of us. So make sure to take a look at this video here, so you can see the 2020. And then the next one is the 2030 Healthy People 2030. And this is, again, is a quick short video by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. And think about, what would you like to see included in the Healthy People 2030? I think that's important for us to think about what it is that we also want to see, because we are the ones that are being affected, and our communities are being affected by what it is they put in. So we need to be mindful, and we need to be aware of what is in there and what we would like. Determinants of health. It explains a little bit about the social determinants of health and how that impacts us, and how we can be better, a better community, better country, a better society when we all have these determinants affect what it is we do on a daily, weekly, yearly basis. So what behaviors contribute to our wellness? Obviously, being physically active. I got into this profession because I like to exercise. And so that has kept my well-being and my wellness at, I would say like, the best, but it definitely has helped. And when I feel that like the most challenge in my life is when I'm not physically active. We also need to choose a healthy diet, something that it has less processed foods and more whole foods. Not necessarily go to Whole Foods, but something that is closer to the source and less processed. Maintain a healthy body weight, so something that makes us feel comfortable, doesn't affect our joints, doesn't affect our blood pressure, our heart as much. Manage stress effectively, like I was saying, referring to earlier. Being physically active has decreased in my stress levels. So when I feel a little bit stressed, I get up, I go out for a run, go out for a bike ride, go out for a walk. That definitely helps me manage my stress. Avoid tobacco, drug use, and limit alcohol consumption, and definitely get adequate sleep. Lately, it has been challenging because I have a lot of work to do, but I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep every night, and that seems to help me get there. Those of you guys that are younger, your brain's still developing. You want to get as close to 8 hours as you possibly can, if not more. Also, naps throughout the day help. So, consider those. I am a napper. I take nap almost every day, and it's a 15-minute power nap, and that definitely has helped and contributes to my wellness. So, reaching wellness through lifestyle management. Before we can start this process, we need to consider the following. So we need to examine what our current health status and health habits are. So if I'm constantly eating out and not have a balanced diet, then I need to examine that. Then I need to choose what behavior I want to target. So in this case, if I want to target eating much healthier, then I need to choose that and focus on that. And then learn about that target behavior, what it is that I need to do to change that behavior, what it is that I need to eat to be healthier, and find some help through resources available. Your textbook has some good information there. You can search the web, ask me, but definitely find the resources and get the help. So here we have two graphs on the left-hand side. We have the risk of obesity and the risk of type 2 diabetes. These increase based on the hours per week spent sitting and watching television. So the more television and more sitting you do, the higher your risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes. On the other hand, if you take in more servings of vegetables and fruits, you have a lower risk of heart disease, as you can see by these lines. And so we want to be mindful, and we can see that doing things that are going to help us reach our wellness goals are determined by our actions and what we do in our lifestyle choices. So building motivation to change. Your textbook talks about the examining the pros and the cons of change. Boost what it is, your self-efficacy, which is the belief that you are capable of growth. And this is through your locus of control, whether it be internal or external. Visualization, self-talk. We have to talk to ourselves. there's a lot of times I see folks that don't talk to others. We're constantly on our phones, texting, emailing, calling. So who is the most important person in our life? It's us. So we want to make sure that we talk, we do some self-talk, we do some visualization, so we get to see who it is that we're going to be targeting, which is ourselves. And then role models and other supportive individuals. So if you have a role model that, you know, I really want to be able to run, I really want to, you know, aim to be like X person, that's important as well. Also within your family, within your community, and identify and overcome key barriers to change. So what is holding you back, and how can you overcome those in order for you to obtain that high level of wellness? The trans-theoretical model for behavior change talks about these 6 steps, right? And your textbook has a great graphic of where of that circle. And the first step is the pre-contemplation. No intention of change behavior. People tend to stay in that phase, and that's outside 6 months or more. And then they go into contemplation. So thinking, well, maybe I should start exercising. And that is the intention, right? They're contemplating on it. And that usually happens within 6 months. Then we start talking about preparation, which is the planning to take action. And that is within a month. For a perfect example that I can probably give is a lot of people, or the majority of us, I should say, majority of us, we start thinking about this mid-December, late December, because now the new year is here. Now we want to start thinking, oh my God, like let's plan on getting our shoes and some new clothes, because now it's getting a little snuggier, right? So we start going into this planning mode, and then we go into action, which is the behavior. That's when it actually takes place. You jump in and you said, okay, that's it. Here I am. I'm ready to go. And you start making some change, whether it be cleaning up your diet, whether it be exercising a little more, being more mindful, taking some mindfulness time, maybe searching into your spiritual life, maybe making some changes in terms of financial, saving a little bit more money, not spending as much. And the maintenance phase is successful behavior has taken place for 6 months or longer. So now you have done this for 6 months, you've been saving money, you haven't been, going out to eat, and you're saving money, you're making change in your diet as well. So now you've been doing it for 6 months or longer. And then the termination phase is the end stage process. So that is when you're like, screw this, I'm going to go spend money on, on a nice dinner, or like, I'm going to go to McDonald's. I can't do this anymore, or I'm over it. And that's the trans-theoretical model for behavior change. All right. Computer here, acting a little slow here. Sorry, I apologize. All right, so we in the fitness center, some of you guys that have enrolled or will enroll eventually in the fitness center. If you don't, I encourage you to do it. There's my commercial for the day, but we use this concept, and I share with you that I teach this concept, which is called Kaizen, continuous improvement. Small changes made constantly create major results. So let's take a look at this change model. So the pre-contemplation, I'm sedentary, watching TV, not really thinking about it. Then I think about exercise. Ooh, that's stage 2, right? And then at stage 2, then I go into that preparation, like, okay, I need to get this done on September 1st. I'm going to get started. I'm really going to do this. And then the action is when I go on September 30th or September 1st, sorry, and then I start on my exercise. And lastly, I do maintenance. I constantly been doing it for 6 months, and I hope, and the goal is for the exit or the end, this termination stage that we talked about in the previous slide. does not present itself, and that we can maintain this this stage here for as long as we possibly can. So how to create a personalized plan for change? How healthy am I based on my behaviors? That's a good question to ask yourself. And then analyze the data and identify the patterns. How do you analyze the data? So a lot of times people, individuals download apps, smart watches, and they know what it is. They're not getting enough rest or sleep. They're not logging in their food, or when they do, they constantly going over their calories for the day. They don't exercise enough. So you take a look at that, and then you say, okay, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I really love going out and exercising, and then but on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't like it. Or maybe I'm only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week doesn't happen. So that's how you identify patterns. That's how you analyze the data. So set a SMART goal as well, and that can help you change. How is that? And we'll take a look at it on the subsequent slide. And devise a strategy or plan of action so you can overcome these and you can actually get on your way to a better, healthier lifestyle. So we take a look at the SMART goal. SMART goal stands for specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So something specific. I want to lose 5 pounds. That's specific. Is it measurable? Yeah, we can measure how much weight that is you want to lose, right? Is it achievable? I believe 5 pounds is achievable. Now, if I say I weigh 150 pounds and I want to lose 100 pounds, well, that's really not achievable. And it's specific, it's measurable, but it's definitely not achievable. Why? Because that would put you in very, very low levels of weight to maintain your physiological needs met. So 5 pounds would be something that is achievable. It's realistic. So the 100 pounds, if I weigh 150 pounds and I want to lose 100 pounds, that's also not realistic. But 5 pounds is realistic. Even 15 pounds, even 20 pounds. It just depends on what it is, the goal that you have, right? Or what it is. Why is it that you're searching for this goal? Now, let's say somebody is 350 pounds and they want to lose 100 pounds. That may be more achievable, right? And it'd be more realistic. It may seem like a daunting task, but it's realistic. And then you make it time bound. So you say, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds. Well, yeah, but when? So if you start September 1st, to keep on with the theme of September, right? So if you do September 1st, then you do, all right, by October 30th, I want to lose 5 pounds. So you have now 2 months, two complete months to be able to do that. And now you have an end goal or an end date. Identifying possible barriers to change. So are you able to change? So if so, are you able to change? Yes, no? Are you willing to change or you're unwilling to change? So if you're willing, that's great. That's awesome. You are already on your way to change and improve health. If you're unwilling, but able to initiate a behavior change, recognize that you will not experience any of the benefits associated with that change. Uncover the reason you are unwilling to engage in self-improving behavior is the key to your success. These are usually psychological barriers, so fear, intimidation, embarrassed. I get to see that a lot in the fitness center where people have fear. They're intimidated by equipment, by other people that may look fitter than they do, may feel embarrassed that they let themselves, have an unpleasant, aesthetically looking body, but that doesn't matter in general, but to them it does. Unable to change. Now, if you're not able to, but you're willing to initiate a behavior change, identify the obstacles is the first step. These are usually logistical barriers, so like money, time, childcare commitments, work commitments, So finding an approach that works best, and I apologize, give me 2 seconds. There we go. There you go. That works is best. So exercise in the morning. Exercise. Maybe you can ask someone, or maybe exercise with your kids. That would be something that you can overcome that barrier. You don't necessarily need to go to a gym to exercise. You can go to the beach. You can go for a walk. You go to the mountains. Unwilling to change now may not be the time to try initiate new behavior. So if you're unwilling to change, motivation change needs to come from you and within you, because it's something that you value. How do you spark motivation to start a behavior change? Just know that you control your life, and you can learn from the tools that you are attaining now. So how do I achieve being fit and well for life? First attempts may only involve the beginning stages of change. So your first initial steps, are thoughts. But once you decide to do that or contemplate and act, do not expect to master everything quickly and with ease. It just takes time, just like anything. When you first start this class, or let's say math class, and they give you your first formula, you may feel overwhelmed. But as you go along the semester, you're going to feel it's going to be much easier. Why? Because you're practicing. Always assume that health improvements are forever. So yes, these are lifelong. So assume that's going to happen. This is going to be, a lot of times what we find is that people say, well, as soon as I hit that goal, then I don't have to worry about it. But you have to constantly keep up with that. And then take one simple problem first. Do not try to overwhelm yourself. And then what happens if you do, you tend to stop exercising. You tend to stop making that change. So focus on the simple problems first, and then handle the more difficult ones later once you feel comfortable. All right. So let's just remember that it's what we do and how we do it, and it's our willingness to do it that's going to help us live a healthier life and have high levels of wellness all the way around. I know we focused a lot on physical, but then don't forget that there's also emotional, spiritual, and all the other dimensions that we talked about, as well as cultural. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope to see you guys next time.